Hey, this is Anonymous T. Welcome to my backup channel, Anonymous T Podcast. If you haven't already, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this channel, as well as my main channel, Anonymous T. This, of course, is where I'll be doing additional content in the event something happens to my main channel. So this video, we're going to talk Beyoncé, shocker. But in this particular video, I'm going to talk about the reaction to Beyoncé sending K.MICHELLE flowers, and that she appreciates what K.MICHELLE is trying to do in country music after Beyoncé releases the album, and after there was backlash on the Shade Room and the neighborhood talk about Beyoncé ignoring some of the black country music artists and all of the things. So a couple of things, right? There are tons of comments that are dragging Beyoncé, calling her fake, calling her everything but the child of God. Here's the thing. I think, like I've said in previous videos, this whole rollout, this whole back and forth, is it country, is it not country, has been a disaster, you guys. Has been a disaster. And sending the fans, I don't know if you saw my video on Anonymous T on my main channel regarding the vinyl records, the collector item albums for the fans, does not even have the completed album, does not have all 27 tracks, is missing 5 tracks, in particular 2 of the tracks that are with another black country artist, and one that's a sample of Chuck Berry. So again, I think that this was very rushed. I think this was not finalized. I think Beyoncé wanted this album out prior to Taylor Swift's that comes out in April, because by the time Taylor comes out in her Swifties, is going to be number one for weeks and weeks and weeks, and Beyoncé has to have a number one that first week, even if the album doesn't sell long term, but at least wants the bragging rights of having her album debut at number one. But nonetheless, you guys, and then also there's issues with the deluxe edition, the gift edition of the CD, because the CD is also missing songs, as well as the Jolene song has a guy singing on it. Like it's just, it's a lot. And then a lot of people are frustrated with Blackbird, in that you have 5 black country artists, basically, that you do not highlight until the end of the song. But you give full duets and everything else to Miley Cyrus. You give Dolly Parton, you get Willie Nelson, you get all these other people to do their thing. And, these black country artists are just kind of getting snippets. I think Beyonce's team this time around is paying attention to a lot of the criticism, a lot of the negativity, because Beyoncé should be at a point in her career where she should be good with whatever happens, whether or not her album does well, whether or not, things resonate with people. The problem people are having now is this extra PR push to say that everything Beyoncé does is perfection. Don't believe me? Rolling Stone just called this album 100 out of 100, a perfect score, which is completely and utterly blasphemous, because this album is not better than Beyoncé's first album, Dangerously in Love. Not better than that. Not better than B-Day, not better than I Am Sasha Fierce, not better than 4, not better than Self-Title. So what Beyonce, not even better than anything of Destiny's Child, right? So what 100 of 100 are you giving the score? And this is what I mean. This need to kind of push this PR of this constant praise, constant perfection, when clearly this entire rollout has been everything but, is a disaster. And so the reason also Beyoncé sent these flowers to K.MICHELLE is that after Beyoncé called out the CMAs, right, for the racism, right? See, the CMAs, they've been highlighting black country artists for probably like the past year and a half or so. But specifically on the day that Beyonce's album came out internationally, before the U.S. release, they did a post for K.MICHELLE. It was a video of K.MICHELLE. It was promoting a YouTube episode of her, working on some country music and all of the things. And I thought it was the most petty thing. And then there were people in the comments who had already had early access to Beyonce's album that was like, she should have called K.MICHELLE for a duet. And I knew right then and there that Beyonce or her people were going to reach out to K.MICHELLE and send her something to make sure everything's on the up and up, to make sure there's no beef with any of the Black country music artists, because here's what keeps happening. Really, since formation, there is a significant portion of Beyonce's white demographics that she's just not going to get back, right? And she's realized, since being, pro-Black in a lot of these past few albums, it's not getting the commercial success, the international success that she would like it compared to her earlier albums, her earlier music, right? And so with all of the criticism, with all the things that are, heightened, she has been trying to, get back into, that demographic, that white demographic that she lost since formation, right? And that is why when her Hair Care line initially came out, everybody assumed that it was just for Black women only, because you did the whole spread in Essence, and it was during Black History Month, only for you to come out and say, oh no, this is for everyone. However, I still do not see one non-Black person that has tried Secret, right? And so then we have this country album, right? We have this country album, you're calling out racism, that gets backlash. So then you say it's not a country album, it's a Beyonce album. But then, of course, now all of a sudden people are discovering, who should already have known, existing Black country music artists as well as historical Black country music artists to highlight. And then all of a sudden, we start to see, after this album release, we see a last minute addition of Black country music stars to a couple of Beyonce songs on this album, which is why there's songs missing on both the vinyl and the deluxe CD, because this whole era was rushed. It was unfinished, and Beyonce and her team, they keep going back, trying to edit things, the more criticism that keeps coming. And so, and so this is no different. And so I thought, with Beyonce thinking that if I put out this country music album, I'm going to attract that demo, I'm going to get that fan base. But what's happened is it's primarily Black people supporting it, right? Is primarily her Black audience that she is sick of, that she's over, right? Because if she's not, why isn't she doing a meet and greet in the United States? Why isn't she in Texas? Why are you in Japan with Jay-Z? Why does Jay-Z conveniently have a liquor, I guess debut or a red carpet event or whatever, if you will, the same night, the same day as this album is released worldwide. And I get it. You want to, tap into the international market, because that has been one weak area in Beyonce's career, is, not consistently touring overseas, right? And some countries altogether just being ignored. So from that, I understand, right? But what I don't understand is why it's happening now. Why it's happening right when your album comes out, where, the first week is really important in terms of promotion, sales, interviews, all of the things. And I just feel like everything is just all over the place. Everything is reactionary. And it's not okay. And another issue people have is that people are treating Beyonce as if she is the only Black country artist to acknowledge and support and stream. And then once Beyonce moves on to the next genre, whether it's rock, whether it's opera, whether it's jazz, whether whatever, it's going to be the same thing. People are going to temporarily be like, oh, the history of opera, the history of rock music, blah, 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 blah. And then after Beyonce moves on, after the album's released, then you're no longer listening to any country music artist. You're not streaming anybody else, right? Because Beyonce accomplished what she wanted, right? And that was to get your pockets. That was to get your money, right? And move on to the next. But that is why some of these country music artists are in not support of this, right? Because they don't see this as genuine. They see this as a gimmick. They see this as a gotcha. They see this as, you know, an attempt to obviously win album of the year. There are some songs on there where you could tell by the number of writers on that particular song that that was intentional. And Beyonce, like I said in previous videos, is calling out the album of the year thing, which confirms everything that Jay and Tina Knowles have said, right, on her behalf. Other thing is, some reason Beyonce's mom responds to criticism about her daughter, but she just put a post up the other day. I just had a video the other day, you guys, about how Tina said that she ignores the haters, how if there's anything negative, you know, that she ignores it, even though that's not true, because she likes negative posts about Jennifer Hudson and Rihanna and Janet Jackson and all those things. But she responded to the other video that I did about the country artist who called out Beyonce for not even being at the rodeo and not being at some other country related, you know, events or venues, or if you will, to promote this album. And so Tina decides to do a post on Instagram and, you know, some cowboy get up and saying that she's always been at the rodeo. And I said, but this wasn't about you. This is not about you. It's not. I'm just trying to figure out who released the album. Who released this country music album? Was it Beyonce or is it Tina? Who is the Sacred Hair Care line for, right? Who is the face of it? I thought it was Beyonce, but it's clearly not. It's clearly Tina, because Tina's doing all the promo for it. And all the tutorials and all of the in-person interviews that Beyonce should be doing. So again, and a lot of this country music, a lot of the vulgar, and that's part of the reason I can't listen to the album in its entirety again, because it is just too much cussing. It is just too much cussing, and I can't do all that, right? It is too vulgar for me, right? And I can feel Jay-Z's influence, right? I feel his influence all the way through ever since he took over, you know, basically giving the suggestions on what Beyonce needs to do in her career after she fired her father. But I feel everything that he has said is very dated. I feel this need, because basically she's done all the things that Jay-Z used to do, right? Anytime there was a new rapper that came out that was hot and all these things and had like a certain flow, Jay would either try to work with that artist or would then release an album with that exact same flow, right? Or he would try to, you know, like he'd try to be your friend first, right? But then if you were actually a competitor of his, then he would try to take you out and try to sabotage you, right? And so these are similar things that have happened with the black R&B girls, right? When Beyonce went solo and came on the scene, and there was all these R&B girls, and then they all vanished. They went poof and gone. This is the same thing in which ever since Self-Titled, Beyonce has been following, you know, this trap R&B, this singing R&B type of trend. But Beyonce, you know, a true vocalist, like, you should be singing like how you were on your first 4 albums, right? And I can't get into a portion of the song being decent, the chorus of a song being decent, or a verse of a song being decent, and then the rest of it, you're rapping or you're cussing. No, that's not going to work for me, right? So again, I just feel I can't wait for this era to be over. I can't wait for her to announce another tour. You know, I'm presumed for this country album, because people fail to realize that Jay-Z signed a $200 million deal with Live Nation that needs to be paid up. And so far, a couple of Jay-Z's concerts have been canceled that were supposed to be a part of Live Nation. So I feel like this is all on Beyonce to do the legwork, to quickly put out these albums, to quickly put out Act 2, Act 3, and do tours back to back to help repay back that Live Nation money. I truly believe it, because there's no reason billionaires like Beyonce and Jay-Z should be working this hard at this point in their careers. They should be relaxing on some private island somewhere, raising their kids, right? But this need to continue to push until you get white acceptance, until you get acceptance in an album of the year, and you're over the age of 40, and you're already the most awarded Grammy artist of all time. You're already the most nominated Grammy artist of all time. Like, You've won everything. You've achieved everything. You've achieved mostly things that even some of our legends, such as Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, and Stevie Wonder, and James Brown will never achieve. Right? So, again, I just hope K.MICHELLE is taking heed of what is happening, because people are thinking that because Beyoncé is randomly sending these flowers now and trying to make this appearance that everything's on the up and up, that means that she is going to help these people and work with these people, and it's not going to happen, you guys. This is all for just good PR. This is all for just good PR to make it seem that Beyoncé is good with you. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.